Okay, Medhini, this is for you, but I'm going to talk general because why, we're going to edit it out and do it where more people can benefit it. But right now, I'm going to be knocking out these videos for you as much as I can so you can start doing stuff for you. And then meanwhile, I'll send it out to Savi so she can edit out this part and then do it to the more general audience. So if I start talking and I'm not talking to you, but I'm really talking to you, also work with me. What I mean by what you're feeling and stuff, I really need to know, like again, where you're saying I'm feeling the weakness and all of that, but I want to start working on just this buoyancy stuff. I really think it's important. I really think I had no idea. I thought you had bleeding from the C-section. I didn't know it was orbital. So anyway, so seeing the inflammation, now you know everything I've been trying to teach you with the nasal cavity. So I want to start bringing all that buoyancy back here. I'm going to show you how to work on yourself like this, work on yourself like this. Now I'm going to be over dramatic and I'm going to state that, but honestly, pushing in just the shoulder here as I'm, let's say, moving the cheekbone up. It doesn't even look like I'm moving. But I might do it like this just to show the drama behind it so you can see the positioning of what I'm looking for. So here we go with this. Hi, it's Michelle Turner, and I'm starting a whole new series with buoyancy. One of the premises that I've presented with is one of the first milestones that the child or your child creates or you've created is what I call the absolute horizon. And it's not that I'm just on a horizontal sheet or a plane. It's the way that the child is learning how to move within and out, almost like a plane coming in for a landing has their horizon level where it can go below or above. Same thing if you put a child, let's say, down to a crib and they have not established that, then you'll start seeing what people like to say is the moro, but it's really a startle. A moro should be around the horizon, and it's what's bringing all the extremities in through the pelvis, so there's two oppositional movements versus a startle, especially when you're seeing the reverberation or the shake. So one of the first movements that you can do when a child's birthed, but also on yourself, is not so much visualize where your spine is at, but what I'm doing is very similar to pushing a ping pong ball underwater and letting that come back and play. And I'm going to do, I'm getting in a tank so you can start seeing what a vertebrae does. But just imagine your bones, they float in the body, but they also have, it's not that they're hollow, but a webbing, and they have air pockets. And I really believe that when a child is learning these kind of movements, they're learning how to, in a sense, push a vertebrae down like it was a ping pong ball, let's say, and that comes back up. So when you're recovering, let's say from surgery, or you have issues with your muscle tones, this is a great thing to do for aging, but it's not that I want you to visualize your spine, but I really want you to take care, and as much as you can, almost like I'm pushing in, let's say, my C7, but the top of the neck, top of the back. And I'm going to, once I get almost like I would say bouncing a ball. But notice I'm not trying to push in. And honestly, if I were to do this without you even talking, might even look like this. So you might not even see what I'm doing. By the way, this is a great lesson to do if you're pregnant. So as I've gotten to bouncing of the ball, now again, and if you have to do, if visualization is hard and you need to almost press in, because that's what I do with the movement lesson, I'm doing a nice gentle rotational touch, but that's what I'm looking for, is a buoyancy or the response of the system, which sometimes gets a little bit clouded when you have CP, let's say, or hypertonia. So now I'm kind of moving down. So if you can do it on your own, that's great. Again, if you need a little bit of help, just place your hand what you're doing. But don't think about where you're touching. Just think about your back, your spine, in that area, pressing into the table. And what you'll start to see too is the weight transfer of the spine. So as you do this, you should start to feel, as you press down here, it starts to rise, let's say, here and here. Now, if your system's been traumatized, or you're working on a system that has been traumatized, you actually might get more of a back arch. They can't handle that pushing down. So again, now this is where you're going to get the oppositional force versus the balance and counterbalance. Again, it might look like I'm just sitting here across my solar plexus. Same thing. Pressing, let's say, that area of the spine down. And you can be here, meaning the arms are down. Now, at first, we're just thinking of, as much as we can, I wouldn't say one vertebrae at a time, so now I'm in this area, but let's say a section of your back. If I go to my lower back. Now, please, you can spend a whole hour on this. I'm just giving you just a tidbit of how to go down the spine. Now, when you get to the tailbone is going to have a sensation more where it's a pelvic tilt. It's still a bit more trying to get that. So I'm just bouncing in my sacrum. And then same thing, don't necessarily have to touch the sexes, but the coccyx. So I'm not looking for a full pelvic tilt. You want to be able to do this going down to the tailbone and then coming back up. More complex, and we'll get to that, will be eventually how circles, but this is where buoyancy, I'm pressing my shoulders back down, spine back down. Sort of what you do with, let's say, belly dancing, but this would also be good for high-end sports. We're going to learn how to throw the buoyancy. Bounce, 2 areas. Bounce, single, patterning in a sense. But I really just want to have you feel really that infantile spine. What happens with an infant too, they have not started any articulation, so they're maybe about here. Or here. And you'll see that they can start to reach by pushing through their horizon versus lifting their arm up. So that's your first personal lesson on learning about buoyancy. I'll be doing this while I'm giving lessons, and I'll be working with this as well as, again, sort of like a science demo to show you all that I'm working with. This is wonderful to do before you're going to sleep. Try to watch how much pressure there is on the head. I will be working on very shortly a lesson for the head. And I look forward to seeing your the next video, and please look forward to commenting if you need. Thank you, and I'll see you soon. Bye, sweetheart. I hope this works for you. Let me know, okay?